Welcome to Stateside Gooners again, everyone. I'm Eric. We've got Matt and Kevin. Good evening, fellas.
Good evening.
Good evening.
It's Sunday, the 23rd of August. The game was yesterday? No, Friday afternoon
Friday
for us. So yeah, we're a little late recording, but it's Sunday, and that's when we record. Two quick pieces before I jump into this of things. We had Jack on the show, you guys, over the summer talking about soccer and the World Cup, and he likes Aston Villa, which he wasn't happy after this weekend. He might not after this, but he got engaged. So,
ooh, congrats
to our guy. And oh man, I forgot the second thing already. Kier and Sam, North London is Red podcast. We finally got communicating. They're overseas. They're not in. I think maybe they're not in at home right now. But to be careful about what I say. Anyway, they're going to do a show with us. So we don't know when, but we're going to work on it and we'll figure it out. And yeah, Arsenal 3, Coventry City 0. Feelings?
General thoughts? Great start.
Yeah, it was fluid soccer. It was good Arsenal. It wasn't like some of the labored preseason games. They came to play. Rice came to play. Saka came to play. Didn't expect them to start, but they both looked good out there. Yeah.
We'll get into that. The way the table stands right now, Brighton first, Arsenal second, Brentford, Everton, Hull City. That's your top 5. Ipswich Town 6th. Insane. Yeah. Brighton top. How'd they get top?
Ask your Villa fan.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And then Brentford right behind us, right above us. Doesn't matter. How'd they get there? We'll talk about that too. Bottom 4 or 5. Villa's bottom. Up 19 is Tottenham, Coventry City, Manchester United in 17th, Palace in 16th. It's weird. I know it's only the first week, but it's fun to look at.
Well, in this table, Tottenham went up 1, right? Because last week they were in complete last place because they do it alphabetically at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, so they're moving up in the world.
So they're moving up.
3-0 is good.
Down.
They're
moving up.
Yep. Moving up.
I did a quick fun top 10, and I'm not going to do it from 10 to 1. I'm just going to do it in order of the sort of the way it happened, if you will. Arsenal have won 3-0 twice in 7 days. So somebody in the graphics department, maybe they stopped making new templates. I don't know. We're just going to have 3-0s all year. 2, the last league meeting between these two was February of 2001. Most of our squad wasn't alive, and some of them weren't even conceived, man. Oof. 3, kickoff was a little bit disorienting because we had a 3 p.m. A 3 p.m. Eastern time start here, which means we were awake, sober, fully dressed. I was disoriented.
Which part? The fully dressed? Is that the one that was?
Arsenal are 4 for 4 in opening fixtures, which is why this is 4th as defending champs. The last time we did it in '98. Against a side that had just won the second tier. History does not repeat, but it rhymes. So Havertz scored twice in the entire league last season and got 15 minutes on Friday. Turns out the trick wasn't destroying his knee on opening weekend. And then maybe he's called Havertz for the first goal of the season. So he's going to be insufferable, Matt. Yep. And we've got 9 whole months left. So when we get through to the end and we go through the points and stuff, I'm not looking forward to it. Haji Wright, American striker, devoted, a piece of our attention to him. Didn't play. Not going to play for a while. I regret nothing. We regret nothing. Coventry's best moment was the header at the end. That's pretty much their highlight reel. It was a short reel.
Yeah.
Frank Lampard's Premier League return lasted 15 minutes before Havertz scored, and somewhere a Chelsea supporter felt a disturbance in the force and could not explain it. Next up for us is Villa on deadline day. Konza possibly debuting against the club that sold him 10 days earlier. The fixture computer does have a sense of humor.
Mm-hmm.
Or the football, the soccer gods. 2 competitive matches, 6 goals scored. This is number 10. None conceded. Arsenal supporters have already found 3 things to worry about. And I think that's the real season opener. So hopefully we can just enjoy.
You mean it's only 3 things to worry about?
Is Kevin still with us?
I've got 10, so I'm good.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Do we want to talk about this game at all, or do we want to just talk about other stuff?
Well, I do think it's worth talking about the goals and kind of the dominance that Arsenal displayed. Along with sort of that balance that we're starting to see happen. I think that's
in the
important.
left side, right side. I like Zolis. I think he had a great game, and he had 2 shots in the first 8 minutes. I thought that was fantastic. Take us through that first goal.
Kevin, you want to walk us through that first one, or
we might have lost Kevin?
So here's what happens. There is a deep ball that's thrown across to Solis, but he and the Coventry City player, it was a duel deep in their territory. Zolis wins the ball, quickly passes to Calafiori. Calafiori quickly passes it to Havertz, who does this sort of sweeping first-time finish, which tucked it right away into the lower left-hand corner from if you're looking at it from a goalie standpoint. So really nice finish from Havertz. It wasn't power. It's what we expect from him. He kind of puts things in the correct place.
Did he side foot that, or did he?
I think it was laces.
I think it was laces.
It was very controlled laces shot.
I agree.
Mm-hmm. It's nice.
And I don't remember a whole lot happening. I think we had a lot of control. And then in the 23rd minute, Saka gets his goal. I think it should be a Zolis. So Zolis is the one who won the ball, passes it to Calafiori in the first one, who gets the assist. In this one, Rice and Odegaard combined in the midfield. Zolis crosses, and the goalie, Rushworth, which I didn't know his name when I was on Blue Sky texting during the whole game, posting during the whole game. So I just called him goalkeeper. But he basically saves it, if you will, but saves it right into Saka's path. And I think that should count personally as a Zolis assist. Saka puts it right into the middle of the net, 2-0 in 23 minutes.
Yeah, I think it's a real nice finish from Saka. He'll never have an easier goal, will he?
I hope so. I hope so. We had a couple of yellow cards. Urenki got Gesundheit. And then Big Gabby gets a silly yellow card.
Yeah, it was deserved from my point of view. Big Gabby earned that one.
And then we go into halftime. Right before halftime, Rice he hits wide of the mark, but before that, there was that overhead kick that landed. Raya jumps up to get it, and it pops off over and hits the roof of our net. So I think that was probably, for me, the only moment they had of maybe threat in the first half. And I think we came right back down. Rice had his chance, and I was hoping we'd get a goal. But what did you think of the first half?
Here's what I saw in the first half: a real interesting mix on our set pieces, the corners, lots of short corners, not too many long corners. So I thought that was an interesting they're building kind of on what was done late last season, right? So they're trying to continue to do that. So that part was fascinating to me, but I was also interested in how hungry this team was. It was an onslaught on the goal. They wanted to score more goals. Their shooting was poor, but they were creating chances, creating opportunities. They were pressing for those goals instead of
Yes.
sitting back.
I agree. Welcome back, Kevin. Oh, our audio. No, we don't have you on audio. We'll keep going until you can figure that part out. We'll definitely come back to you though for the first half stuff. Now, I thought this was fun. We come back out, and what do you always say about the first 5 minutes of a half? Last 5 minutes, first 5 minutes.
Hugely important. Demoralizing. If you score a goal in any of those periods or get scored on, demoralizing.
You're up 2-0, and then your opponent scores a goal as you're walking into halftime, or you come out of halftime, you're up 2-0, and they score, and it's 2-1 already. Now it's a game again. Do we have you yet, Kevin?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Why don't you walk us through this third goal, this Odegaard goal?
It was a nice play down the right. You had Saka with the ball. White kind of overlapped on the outside. He played it all the way to the end line, cut it back, a sharp cut back to Odegaard. And it wasn't like, you know how Ozil used to kick it into the ground and it would bounce up and he would try to do it and it was like spectacular. This was like the opposite of that. He like got under the ball. It like floated like if it was a balloon and somehow wrong-footed the goalkeeper as he stretched out the hand the other way and just couldn't get his fingers on it with any strength. And so it went in the back of the net. And then his celebration was even better. He just puts his arms out like, I don't know. Guess it scored.
I guess. Yeah.
His celebration reminded me of, and I'm dating myself here, Urkel. Everybody remember Urkel? Who, me? That's what he did. That's what he did.
Yeah, so they substitute in the 62nd minute. We don't substitute till 68, and it was Rice and Saka. Thoughts on Rice and Saka coming out at 68?
I'm glad they came out. I was hoping they wouldn't even make it past halftime, considering we just dominated that first half. We had 2 goals. There was not even a shot on target, I don't think, in the first half for Coventry. So the sooner you could get them out, the better, in my opinion. But it was nice to see they both got 68 minutes on their legs.
Yeah, I think we didn't need him at 3-0.
No.
Matt?
No, not at all. I was hoping they would get taken off right after we scored the third goal because it's done. But I maybe didn't have enough time to warm people up. But I was glad to see them get pulled from the game. They need their rest.
You think they needed 19 minutes to warm people up?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that was in the plan. 68 minutes, we have our subs.
I think in the 60s, 65. Yeah, I think that was in the plan. I think you're absolutely right. So Zubamendi comes on, Madueke comes on. Since we're here and we know that we didn't score after that, what did you think of Rice and Saka's game before we move on? Saka got the goal.
Yeah. I thought that whole right side played really well, but Rice looked like he didn't miss a beat from the offseason. He came back. He played a game in the Shield, played a half of that game. He was looking good. And then Saka, he didn't really have too many dribble attempts. I think he was 1 dribble attempt in the game, but he just had that left back on skates the whole game. He could do whatever he wanted with the triangles over there on the right.
Did you look at the heat maps?
Oh, yeah.
I did not, and I'm interested. What were the heat maps for MLS, Rice, and Odegaard?
So MLS was all over. He was like your Bruno heat map. He was left and right. Then you had Rice, who was very right side dominant, but he looked, like your typical Rice operating down the right side. Saka, he was hugging the touchline for the most part on the right hand side. He kind of crept up into the, the final third quite a bit, but most of his play was down the right flank on the right side, in the middle third. But with all of them, then you've got Odegaard, you've got Kai, all coming to the right. It's just the heat map of those five was almost like right on top of each other for their average positions, and I think it explained the game. Right side dominant, the forward and the midfield and the defense all coming together just to dominate that territory.
Two things that stand out for me. When Rice first came to us, he was left side dominant, and he was left side dominant for West Ham. And I still think of him as left side dominant. It's the second or third time since we've been, the three of us together, that you've referred to Rice as right side dominant. And it's weird for me to hear because he's been career-wise so left side dominant. And I think it's who he's playing with. Last year with Zubamendi, I feel like he was still left side for the most part, but then when MLS was in, he was right side or deeper. So it's going to be interesting to see how it works out. I liked the way that, and I commented on, we used to call it the washing machine, how the rotation. I don't know who wasn't everybody was rotating. I think who didn't rotate was probably Mascara. Everybody else I felt like rotated in different positions. Mascara was the only one who was static. Matt?
I was thrilled with Saka's performance in this match. I think we're starting to see a player that's getting back to full fitness, and that's the best thing that any Arsenal fan can hope for right now. Just thrilled to see him out there challenging for the ball, doing the things that he used to do. Not that we saw, not the Saka of the last couple of months of last season, where he was slow. His game was definitely off. Now I just want to see him cut in and score with his left foot. And
does he look better than he did even in the World Cup?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
I do too. So then we had Zubamendi and Madueke come on. What were your thoughts about Zubamendi and his game?
Nothing really stands out for me for Zuby's performance at that point. Tidy enough. He didn't stand out one way or the other.
Kevin?
Yeah, I would say Zuby was just kind of there. He was kind of like MLS, not he was playing a good game, just not showing off. He was doing his thing over there. I thought Madueke did really well. I liked his play. He was pushing the ball down the right. He was creating a lot of chances. So I thought his 20-ish minute cameo was pretty fantastic.
It's funny. I think that there was a point at which MLS slipped the ball through and Calafiori ran onto it, and the goalie got there instead of Calafiori being able to get it. But I actually yelled out loud, "They're going to do it again," or something like that. Like, not again. And it didn't happen. But I thought that MLS was less static. He was looking forward. I think that Zubamendi, he was looking forward, but he's afraid to try the pass. And he did a lot of motions with his hands that he was frustrated because he couldn't push the ball forward. And so he kept doing sideways and backwards, mostly to his right and behind him is what I saw. Did you guys see that?
Absolutely. And anything he tried to pass forward, if he wasn't kind of in the middle of the park, anything more adventurous was a missed pass.
Or he was afraid to do it, to try it.
Yeah.
I didn't find Madueke to be particularly, like you're talking about him as you liked his, just to keep it simple, you liked his play. I forget your exact words. I didn't notice. I guess it comes down to, I didn't notice anything that produced danger. He didn't really have dangerous moments. I think I passed you over for Zuby, or did you say something about Zuby already, Matt?
Oh, we've already got my 2 cents on Zuby. Yeah. When it comes to Madueke, I thought he was initially bright. He really wanted to create something. That was very clear. But I don't think he was successful in a whole lot of what he was trying to do. especially the cross to nowhere. It was a nice cross, but there was nobody on the other end of that. So I do find fault with him there. Why even send that cross? So
When Zolis is making crosses, and I noticed this, and there was a lot of talk about it on the NBC post-game show or whatever. Zolis is looking up. I think it was one of the Robbies. He's looking up when he makes his cross. He's not just crossing blindly, and that's what Madueke does. He just kind of sometimes, spray and pray. Where Zolis was looking up, and if there was nothing there, he'll cut it back. He'll bring it over to the middle until he finds something.
I think that's fair. Yeah, I think both Madueke and Martinelli suffer from that. They just put their heads down, dribble to the byline, and then cut it across. Versus Solis, he could cut to the byline, or he could cut back on his right. He picks up his head, and he's quick with that pass or shot. You saw in the first part of the game, he kind of came across and he'd get the shot off. But he is looking for a player. Madueke had the most chances created, but his chances weren't good. And so it's Madueke being what Madueke is, which is, getting into dangerous spots and then not having that final ball, whether it's a shot or a pass, it's not on target.
Yeah.
What I missed from Madueke's game, when he first came to Arsenal, he would do these dribbles along the end line. We haven't really seen that a whole lot in the last, I don't know, months of his game. Now, granted, he's the World Cup, but even before that, we weren't seeing that traveling along the end line too much.
Saka had one of those in this game. Am I right?
I'd like to see that again. I think so.
Yeah. Saka had one, I think, and then did he shoot near post, or did he smack it across? Or I don't recall, but I remember him dribbling right there on the end line, and he beat his man.
I think he tried the shot.
Yeah,
it didn't come off.
So 3-0 Arsenal over Coventry City. I'm not going to dig in too much to Eze Marino or Hincapi.
Yay!
Because they didn't have a whole lot of minutes. Did anything from any of them stand out for either of you? Because it didn't for me. I think there was a chance Marino had.
Yeah, Marino had the opportunity there almost towards extra time. And it was a nice shot. It was very well placed, but their goalie made a save.
We didn't say about Zolis. Zolis had a shot towards the end from like 18, 19 yards out, and he just ripped it, worm burner, and was probably the best save of the day from the Coventry City keeper.
And if Big Gabby weren't offsides on the shot, he would have easily finished, because it did spill in front of the goalie.
He spilled a lot.
But yeah, it was unfortunate that Gabby was already offsides.
Yeah, he wasn't bad, he wasn't good. I just Zolis was so good that he just looked normal. So 3-0, first game. We're sitting second on the table. I'm going to have some more about this, but it was a big game for Arteta in a way that I didn't know. And so no spoilers, because I want to dig into that a little bit later, but I left some notes for you guys there. Who was not there? Saliba out with the back, Timber out with not exactly sure what, but we think it's what?
Groin.
Yeah.
Groin.
Guimaraes.
Groin.
Groin.
Yeah. What was interesting for me, guys, is this transatlantic US versus, British sources, because Sky, Arseblog Daily Canon, as an example, they're talking about Bruno having a thigh thing, but Sports Illustrated and some of the other ones are talking about it's a groin thing for Bruno.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's kind of the same, thigh, groin, but I think of thigh as the front, like the top, and the groin, obviously, inside. Urian Timber, English press talking about it as a groin, American press talking about it as an ankle. So, I don't know. I guess we're trying to. This is Stateside Gooners. So what I would say is, before you start going to your classic US, your classic, well, just in general, your classic US based, you can look in the BBC, and you can look at the Premier League website, and there are places that the people who are closer to it and who have more connections to the team. Now, I will say this: The Athletic is a really good source, and when you read some of the stuff about Arsenal there, they have people who follow Arsenal, and we talked a little bit about this in a previous episode. But yeah, not available was Kanza. Kind of walked in, sat in the stands in a suit because we didn't get his paperwork in on Thursday.
So that's why he didn't play.
Paperwork was late.
Okay.
Jesus, Reece Nelson, Fabio Vieira, any complaints about them not getting on the bench or getting minutes?
No, those are candidates to be sold or out of the team here soon, right?
And there's one more. Who wants to take this up?
Lots of news about Gabby Martinelli, that is, this whole week. The latest out there is that he's going to go to the Saudi League. That's the latest rumor that is out there.
I've heard that.
There's a lot of commentary about how badly Arsenal are treating Martinelli, because he's kind of shut out from the team right now. Ian Wright said that he, quote unquote, feels uncomfortable about the way Martinelli's being treated. And we know Ian Wright does speak for the team. He speaks for the fans in a lot of cases.
Yes.
He's probably the biggest fan out there. So if he's saying he feels uncomfortable, I'm sure there is a large portion of the Arsenal fans in general that feel uncomfortable. But folks, this is part of the process. We will sell players, and you're going to have to sell players that you really, really like. Loved Martinelli playing in an Arsenal shirt, but it certainly sounds to me like his time is up.
And honestly, I feel bad. I'll come to you after, Kevin. I feel bad because part of me wants to see him go in Arteta would say it, in the right way. Those are the words Arteta would use. I want to see him be taken care of in the right way. But what I would say too is that this is a club, and this is a club that now has won something big, not something medium, right? Mm-hmm. And the last two trophies we could win, well, two of the last three trophies we could win, we won. I forgot that other trophy was in between. But we've competed for three of the last three. And if we're going to continue to compete and want to win, then being nice isn't going to help us do that. We can probably be nice and win, but honestly, if you're going to try to sell this guy to the team, only the teams that want him, or only the teams he wants to go to, I guess I should say, we're going to end up keeping him. And we've had years and years and years of that, where we kept players way past when they were still good for us and good for another team for the amount of money. You look at somebody like Savinho, and they paid all this money for him. He's younger, similar stats, very, very similar stats to Martinelli. We'll never get that kind of money for him.
I could make a snide Tottenham joke here, but I won't.
They should have bought. I wouldn't sell Martinelli to Tottenham, but I'd sell him anywhere else, even maybe Chelsea, across the Premier League, and keep him here, especially if it's a team in London.
I wouldn't mind seeing that. I think you're seeing a lot of rumors with him linked to the Italian league. Obviously, he's not going to Turkey. That's a step down for him. He's on a big wage, and so is Gabriel Jesus. And so I think the big thing you got to consider is they got to get those wages off the books. If they're not going to be, the tier one starter, obviously there's a couple stars for each position, but you can't have 180 and 260 on the books come September. You need to get those off, because we got to pay Timber, we got to pay Rice, we're probably going to have to pay Odegaard. They're all going to command big salaries, probably starting with the number 3 week. And so that's going to be tough. You got to find the money there. And if we are truly going in for another big name signing up front, you need to get rid of some of the upfront players, whether that's Reese, whether that's Jesus or Martinelli. Get rid of the three of them and have yourself a bona fide starter, a star, whether that's Alvarez, who we've all kind of made our opinions felt, or if it's a left sider, be it Barcola, Yildiz, or somebody else to come next year.
We
really
talked
need-
a little bit about you. I want to stop you on Alvarez there for a second.
Mhm.
You said we've made our opinions known. Let's talk about it right now, because if we're trying to get rid of Martinelli, Jesus, Vieira, Reese Nelson, let's say we get rid of all four of those, that's a lot of money off our plate. We're not going to break the bank in terms of salary for Alvarez, but what is your opinion on Alvarez?
As the window gets closer and closer to the deadline, it's looking more and more opportunistic. You have his own fans booing him. He's coming in as a sub, and everybody's booing him going on the field, coming off the field. He's really lost support there. Atletico is not going to sell him to Barcelona. They're just not going to do it. And so if we can get him for 100 million, it's a steal, frankly. He'd be for him, yeah. But then you got to think about Big Vic. He's not going to stick around if you've got him there. He's going to be playing center forward. His game is similar to Kai, so maybe there is a good relationship in 1-2 there. But it's going to be complicated with less than 10 days in the window. Let's see what happens.
Matt.
Stars like Alvarez, always going to be complicated deals, always going to be hard to get over the line, and they usually go down to the end. So I agree with you, Kevin. I think it's going to be a deadline day deal if it happens at all. Personally, I don't care for this deal to get done. It doesn't matter to me. I don't know that he's a player that increases our floor. I don't think he increases the overall talent of the team. He's not a needle mover for me. He doesn't bring us anything that's going to be really interesting. And I know that Eric's going to bring out some stats now.
I'm just trying to figure out their ages. I think they're similar in age. If anything, Alvarez is a little bit younger, a year or two. But what I saw was 34, almost 500 minutes for Gyökeres and 3,500, just a little bit more minutes for Alvarez. And we talked about how Alvarez only got 8 goals in his league, but he did a lot of goals outside in cup competitions, especially the Champions League. He ended up with 29 goal contributions to Vic's 24. And so when you take it out over per 90, he got 0.61 goal contributions per 90, and Gyökeres had 0.52. For me, and I know, Matt, he's not your favorite guy. It's kind of like maybe Bruno for me, but Alvarez already knows Juego. He learned from Pep how to play Juego, and he has a more similar style where he'll drop deeper and has the kind of movement that Havertz has. So I would rather see Alvarez and Havertz interchangeably, and maybe both on the field at the same time, Alvarez on the left if we need him there. I would do a straight swap, or Martinelli and Gyökeres for Alvarez, and give them 2 players that probably can do a very good job in Spain. And frankly, Gyökeres plays that style, the way that they play in Madrid and at Atletico, better.
And they're not going to be facing that many, people banked in 2 rows of 4, just parking the bus in Spain. They'll have a lot more open play where he can excel and score in the 20s or 30s. Yeah, agreed.
I think part of that would be to not have money go either way, or if we have to send a little bit of money their way, to do that. But I don't think he's worth 100. I think maybe he's worth 85. And the total of those two players that we'd send the other way, just for fun, I'm making this up, but maybe they're 60. You know what I mean? Something like that. And so we pay 25 million plus those two players. But guess what? That means that they could probably afford to pay those salaries as they are, in the same way that they are. And Jesus might go to Barcelona if Alvarez doesn't. So it could also help us get rid of 3 players.
Yeah, so when it comes to Gyökeres versus Alvarez, I like Gyökeres just because he does bring something different. You mentioned the movement that Kai does. It's the same movement as Alvarez. So I see it as Gyökeres brings something different. If you want that off the bench, that's great. Bring that in off the bench. Have that different, because you're going to need different solutions for different games to win them.
We have Marino.
Sure, but he's not like Gyökeres either.
He can be. He has been.
Marino's more like Kai than he is, and more like Alvarez than he is like Gyökeres, I think. Gyökeres is in there. He's making his runs are direct. He's scoring off those rebounds. He's doing things within 5 feet of the goal.
We did find him a little bit more towards the end of the season. Anecdotally, I don't recall him doing worse. He did better, but I don't know that that's going to be our focus, to try to find him. And I don't think he'll be happy playing the last 15, 20, 30 minutes of these games and getting games. It's the first game of the season. He's not going to play against this team, but Coventry City, if you can't get that game, who are you going to get?
Fair.
Yeah. And if you're saying, Wenger, we failed with Wenger because there was no plan B for a decade. So we need a plan B, but sometimes plan B is the fact that Havertz, Alvarez, Marino, they don't play a different style like Gyökeres plays a different style. But I think they have the flexibility to play a different type of game if the strategy goes from 4-3-3 to 4-2-3-1, or we need to throw on an extra striker and we've got all 3 of those guys in at one time. You know what I mean? Like that we're trying to do something different at the end. I don't know that Gyökeres has the capability to do those kinds of things. And that's where I think we miss. My opinion.
Gotcha.
Before we leave this game, because I wanted to jump in a little bit there on some of that stuff while we were talking about Martinelli, but before we get out of this game, you want to talk about shot funnel?
Yeah, I do want to. So this is something that I like to focus on. They had 20 shots. 6 were on target. Now, on the women's side, so Coach Slegers, she likes to see half. She likes to see half of the shots taken result in shots on target, because she believes that ends in good finishing, good end product. You're going to wind up with goals. In this case, we converted a lot of shots on target into goals. So we went 20 shots, 6 shots on target, 3 goals. Not too shabby from the converting your shots on target into goals, but those shots and shots on target are pretty off. The other thing to point out, the shots, we did take 10 from outside the box, which is unusual for Arsenal. And I like that trend. I do like that trend. It's just got to get better at shooting them.
And how many were blocked? My notes had about 4 or 5 blocked.
That sounds about right. It might have been a little bit more than that.
You don't know if they were on target or not, but let's just say it was 5 shots that were blocked. Now you've got 6 shots on target out of maybe 15, which isn't awful.
Sure, that's not terrible.
But yeah,
but that needs to improve.
Kevin, you had some stats you wanted to tell us, walk through.
I was just really impressed with the right side in this game. You had those 4, meaning White, Benny Blanco at right back, and then you had Odegaard in the, if you want to call it, right 8/10, Saka on the wing, and Kai Havertz up top. This is the first time in over 2 years that they've all started a game. Last time was back in May of 24, when they also came out 3-0 winners. But that was the year, they're scoring goals for fun, 3-0 games, 5-0 games, and just the cohesion that they have there, the triangles, the short passing that they're having on the right side, it was bringing me back to that season. And, again, back to the comment at the beginning, you had the four of them, and you had Rice now pulled over on the right side, and just really good play. But looking at those players individually, White, he had the joint most touches in the game as a right fullback, along with MLS. That's pretty impressive.
It is.
His passing was great, 95%, 74, 78 passes. He had defensive contributions, so he wasn't just playing all offensive. He had 5D contributions. He was winning most of his duels. He created 2 chances, and he had that assist for Odegaard's fluff. Then the other 3 all had a goal. You had Odegaard, he had a goal. Saka, he had a goal. Kai, he had a goal. Odegaard, I thought, ran the show. He had 72 touches in 76 minutes, which is pretty phenomenal. 93% passer rating. 8 defensive contributions for an attacking midfielder. That's great.
It's exactly what Arteta wants.
Demands.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, Saka had 49 touches in an hour. Great passing percentage. Again, 7 defensive contributions. So if they lost the ball, they were winning it right away, creating dangerous opportunities. And then lastly, you had Kai, who had 38 touches, which is pretty good for a forward, especially when you're comparing him to kind of a low touch output. Big Vic up top. 38 touches is a pretty sizable amount for a game like this. So I was impressed with all of them. All of them strong in their duels. All of them playing defense as well as offense. It was very dominant. As you could see with the stats, the right side is where they funneled most of their attack, 45% through the right side, the other 55 through the middle and left combined. So
it didn't seem to me that heavy. I noticed Zolas with the ball a lot, and Calafiori, MLS drifting up into that side, and Havertz did drift into that left channel. We'd see Gyökeres there more, but so Zolas had 51 touches, 8 in the opposition box, 4 shots, 2 in the first 8 minutes, 1 at 5 minutes, 1 at 8 minutes. I thought that was pretty cool. 2 on target. I think 1 was blocked, 3 chances created, and then did some other stuff, including winning a couple of fouls. So, I mean, this is all on his first game in the Premier League with Arsenal. I know he played with Norwich a few years back, but it's very different when you're playing for a team that gets relegated than a team that just won the title. So I was impressed with everything you said. I was also impressed with his first game, and I don't know that he was or wasn't probably very close to man of the match. I think I give it to Odegaard.
I think Odegaard just won it barely, but if
Just
you count
about.
hockey assists, Solis had 2 hockey assists because he popped it out to Calafiori, who passed it in for Kai's goal to start it off. And then he had the shot/cross that the goalkeeper fumbled, and Saka just tucked into the open net. So 2 hockey assists for Solis, the Belgian.
2 second assists. I like it.
Yeah.
Matt, player of the game?
I'd go with Solis just to be different from you guys. I mean, it's easy. It's Odegaard or Zolas. But quite a debut for Zolas. I mean,
let's
impressive.
book through. Sorry, go ahead.
Nope, go for it.
Let's book through the rest of the league real quick. One thing, did I have it up here at the top? Oh no, I know what it was. I got a text from Rory the Mailman, who we had some Rory the Mailman last year. Do you remember?
Oh yes, Rory is a Man United fan, as I recall.
This is true. He
What happened to Man
texted.
United?
He and I texted, and I gotta find this. Rory. There it is. So I said I did the emoji that has the X eyes, and he said first game is always hit or miss. Not bothered at all. I said I wondered if Hull were going to get as many points as Wolves, more than Derby, I thought, which was 13, the lowest amount ever. But and Wolves got 20 last year. So I said, but they're going down, right? Meaning Hull. It's a shocker for Carrick, I think. Did you watch it? He said, no, he was working. He was delivering the mail. They'll be okay in a week or two, I reckon. He said, we'll sign another player or two this week, I think. I don't think Hull will probably survive the drop. We've only got the group together over the last 2 weeks, so a slow start is to be expected. We know where we need to be in May, so no panic. We have been reactive for 10 years or so, and today's result is a good kick in the bum for our boardroom. So that's what Rory the Mailman said. Now, to me, asking your opinion for a friend, to me, that sounds like a lot of excuses.
There are a lot of excuses in there.
Man United lose 2-0 to Hull City on the road with a 69 almost % chance to win compared to Hull's 12.
Maybe we're all wrong about Hull, and they actually are.
Yeah, that was a shocker because we all three picked them for 20th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. 90 minutes and some added time baloney, trying to keep this from being explicit. Newcastle up 2-1. Liverpool get the 99th minute on a 95th minute penalty and a bunch of hoo-ha. 99th penalty kick. And there was a few little questions about the penalty kick, but it was allowed. Did you guys happen to see any of it?
I did see the last 15 minutes of that. And, well, actually, earlier, Joe Willock scores a really wonderful goal. I mean, that was a tremendous goal by him to put Newcastle up 2-1.
And he only just came on, right?
He had just come on as a sub, and boom, scores. Yeah, the penalty's a real soft one for me.
Honestly, they scored. Gakpo scored at 55, and then when we say Willock just came on, he came on and scored at 57. So they only had the tie for 2 minutes or less. So I thought that was fun. But this thing where Newcastle loses in extra time to Liverpool is not just tied to this game. This is the fourth time in 4 years, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, but seasons. At Anfield in 2022, 98th minute, when 5 minutes were what was expected, they got 3+ more minutes, and Liverpool won it. Carvalho scored. 2023, they're up at St. James. Nunez wins it in the 3rd minute of extra time. Last year, 2025, they're up at St. James, and young kid, age 16, 100th minute. After Newcastle came back from 2-0 down, Liverpool win, and then today. So there's this history between these two teams of Liverpool winning 4 times consecutively when the game goes into overtime and one of the teams scores, and I don't like it. Tell me Maresca, one of you guys.
Oh,
I can't talk about him.
No. It was looking good for Team 115 charges for the last 8 minutes. The rest of the game, not so good. I was banking on the loss, and then like the 84th minute, I think, was it Gahey got the equalizer, and then extra time, it was heartbreaking. I thought for sure we were going to come out of the opening weekend with Man U losing, 115 losing, Liverpool losing, the team down the road losing. It was going to be great. It was going to be a glorious start, but they had other ideas at the end.
Yeah.
Having Gahey, who is a center back, start at midfield was a little weird from my perspective. I don't know if he's played there before. So this is definitely.
Did they play 3 at the back?
That I can't tell you.
That's weird. Did they play a diamond?
It was a very strange setup with Gahey moving up into midfield.
We played a diamond in college, so I wonder if they played a diamond. Like him in midfield was really a diamond defense.
I'd have to watch it again. I don't know.
I didn't watch it because I don't want to, but now I'm going to have to go watch it. Do you want to tell us about Tottenham, Matt? I know you don't, but you're gonna.
Tottenham. I tell you, so I didn't watch a lick of this game. I don't prefer to watch.
Oh, well,
them.
maybe I did. Maybe since I did, I should take
If you
this
did,
one.
if you
And you could
watched
take
it,
Villa
go
because you
for it.
watched some of Villa, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right, so then I'll do this one. Tottenham loses 3-0 to Brentford, and they were worth more. Brentford. Archie Gray became the youngest captain for Tottenham, beating Harry Kane's record. He's 20 years old, and he was the captain. And he said in his presser, it was an amazing moment. He's grateful for the manager to trust me, but again, today wasn't good enough. That's what he said about himself and his team. We lost too many duels. They outfought us all over the park. I'm not sure I would want to say that if I'm the captain. And at 20, he said, for some reason on days in football, a team can outfight another team.
Yeah,
I don't think I say that.
Everybody out. You call everybody out in the room. Don't do it out here. Yeah.
It's definitely an improvement from last season.
What was last
Poor
season's
kid.
4-0 lose?
Wow. So hard to say, but they spent a couple $100 million already. They got probably another 100 coming. I think Savinho deal is done, so they got Marmouche. I told you last year I wanted Marmouche. It was the winter, like 3 windows ago, and I wanted him. So maybe it was the year before, but we didn't get him, and they're going to have him, and I think that's good for them. But I felt like De Zerbi was trying to keep us off the top, and even that fourth goal, there was a penalty kick towards the end of the game, and the Brentford striker, I can't think of his name,
clanged it off the post, right?
21. Yeah, he scored 21 last year, and he's their penalty taker, and he clanged it off the post. So it could have been that they were in first place, and yeah, it just I don't know. So yeah, tell us about Villa, because Jack was watching, and he might quit Villa.
Oh, poor Jack. That's all I can say. This match is over in the first 20 minutes?
31 minutes, I think it was 4-0.
After 30 minutes, it's up, right. So first 20 minutes, Brighton winds up going up 2-0, and they had 2 goals back-to-back within 30 seconds. One was off of a kickoff. So Brighton scores, header. Same player, by the way, scores both of these goals. Within 30 seconds, he scores the second one.
Hinchelwood.
And the second one is just something that can obviously be prevented. It's poor by Villa's defense. They're just trying to play it out of the back. They got trapped. They got caught, and he finished it pretty easy. So 4-0 after 30 minutes, and then to add insult to injury, there was a red card for a Villa player, one of their new center midfielders.
Joe Gomez.
Yeah, he is. So he straight red. So he's out for 3 games for violent conduct. He kind of kicked out at one of the players.
I wondered if it was going to be a 3-gamer or a
Spikes.
1-gamer.
It's definitely going to be 3 games. If it's up to me, it's 3 games. But I know I don't always have that say. But he's definitely not playing in our match, right? And this is Aston Villa. This is who we have next.
Do you want to read that? I thought that was incredible.
Sky Sports called it one of the worst opening 45 minutes in Premier League history.
That's crazy.
Oh, yeah, that's brutal. That is a brutal statement. But true. Fair.
Apparently, this is only the 4th time that 4 goals have been scored in the first half of a season opening fixture.
Huh.
So Bolton back in the days where they used to beat us fairly regularly, or they were the Newcastle back then. United in 06-07 and Liverpool not too long ago in 1920, when I think that's the year they won it. No, the next year. No, 1920. 2019, 2020, right?
Yeah, I think
because that was the COVID year.
Yeah, that it was.
Anyway, Jack's upset. they lost the first 4 games that he decided he was going to be a Villa fan, and he started watching, and then they went on by the end of the season to win the Europa League, which was great, and we all know their coach he loves that competition.
Mhm.
And he's
Very
good for it. He
successful.
can have that all the time. But
Very
look, they
successful.
didn't have a lot of players, right? Because Rogers went, Konza came to us, Luka Dean went to France, Tielemans went to United.
I mean,
Ollie Watkins wants to go to the Saudi League.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's not looking good for them. And now that they lost one more player, I'm eager to hear what you think when we get there on our side. So yeah, let's dig into that, because we've got them up next. I was going to say we got 3 quick things, but let's not do that. We got Villa to cover. I think they jumped off the cliff when they sold all these players, and they're trying to rebuild on the way down. And I'm not sure that's the right way to do it. It feels chaotic.
They tore apart their engine room. Every midfielder's gone. And now you've got one of the big name midfielders coming in, and he's not going to play for 3 more games. So he's basically out to the international break. It's going to be plug and play for these next few games. They're still trying to learn each other, and then they'll have to do so again after the international break. It's going to be a rough start to the season for them. And then they jump into Champions League, the Soda Cup, and then it just gets busier and busier. So I don't envy them. I don't think it's going to be a good year for your buddy Jack.
We didn't think of Emery at all when we were talking about who the first managers to get turned over in the season. We didn't. I never considered. And now that I'm looking at all of this and watching that result and coming up with reasons why, I'm going, ooh.
Yeah, but if you're Villa's ownership, you have a stake in that, because you've sold all of these players and you haven't really backed him.
You're not going to blame yourself in the public. You're going to blame your manager.
No, I suppose that's why he's there. But I think these are all decisions that people are going in with eyes wide open. They're not going to kick him to the curb unless he comes last.
Watkins, I think he should go. I think he should collect the paycheck. He'll do great down there.
Oh, if I were Ollie, I would be headed out the door. There's lots of controversy after the match today, with Unai not really saying anything about Ollie, saying you have to ask him why he didn't play today. Oof. It's just all kinds of chaos on that team. I think they have to have little name tags to know who's playing. Who's your teammate? Hi, I'm.
Oh man!
Right?
Wow.
At some point, that's where it comes to.
We went to talk about Ollie Watkins and bringing him in a couple of years in a row, 4 or 5 years ago, and we never pulled the trigger on that. But we also looked at Emi Buendia to bring him in as a midfielder around the same time, and they got him instead of us. And now here he is, Emi Buendia, playing center forward because they don't have Watkins. I looked at that and it just kind of was like, wow, like a what if moment, because we could have had both of those players. What is going on with their goalie, Emi Martinez?
Did they get rid of him?
All I know is that he is on the outs and is going to be sold. That's what everybody says.
Yep.
They said that last summer too, in everyone's defense.
They brought in that goalie from Cabo Verde, right? Am I wrong? Who brought that guy in? Somebody brought him in. Who did they get as their goalie?
Who played today? Well, it definitely was not Emi.
I thought it was the guy that was
Marco.
I'm probably wrong.
And they didn't have a second goalie on the bench.
Yeah, I don't know who that guy was, but
yeah, I don't know that guy.
Yeah.
Oh, they did. Suzuki was the one on the bench.
Oh, Suzuki. And where's he? He was somebody that was in the World Cup. It is Suzuki. He's the guy they just got, and I think he's the guy they got that's going to replace Buendia. forget where Suzuki was. Was he Japan?
He was, yeah.
Okay. Anyway, Kanza comes to us. They're in need of a center back. They sold us their best one. Do you think he's going to play? I guess we'll find that out when we do things in a few minutes, but
Yeah. Yeah, Konza will probably get his first start, or at least his first minutes
yeah.
against Villa. And I think that's a pretty good bit of business on our part. 51 million. I think that's better than what they wanted.
I think that I think it was a little bit in the middle, but towards the higher end. I think we ended up talking them down a little bit because I think they wanted 60 and we offered 40.
Yeah.
Okay, so
But then it ended up at
you did
51
arrive in
plus
the middle.
4. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
And whether or not he gets the 4, I don't know how many games he has to start, but we've all said it's going to be January until Saliba comes back. Although I'm hearing famous pundits saying December. I just don't know why you'd bring him back. Why bother? Deadline day. We meet them on deadline day. So I wonder, it's more about the outs than the ins for us, but I wonder who they're going to try to bring in. They're sitting on a pot of money because they've sold so many players. Now they have brought some in, but I think they're, after the 51 from us, on paper, they have like 150 million or 140 million to spend.
And
They were pushing the limits of the financial fair play, though. They were penalized, I think, or on the borderline of being penalized last year for crossing that threshold. So they needed to get players out, both in terms of salary and getting finances in the door. So this might just be to bring them back to where they need to be.
Well, guess what?
Yeah.
They're going to finish 14th.
Mm-hmm. We'll be lucky to at this rate.
I had them finishing in the top 5, I think. Top 4. Or maybe 5th. I don't know. But I had them finishing pretty high. For this game, Saliba's still going to be out. Timber's going to be out. Not sure. I hear some people saying Bruno is going to play. That I think Arteta said he wanted to play in that other game against Coventry City and didn't. I think others are saying he needs more time. Have you guys heard anything, or do you have any opinions on it?
Yeah, I don't have any. Haven't read anything when he's going to come back.
If it's a groin, I don't imagine rushing him back. You've got numbers there in midfield right now. Marino can play. Rice play well. Zubimendi can play. MLS can play. You're not hurting for numbers, so I would give him a couple weeks to get back to 100%.
I picked Raya, White, Konza, Gabriel, Calafiore as the back 5. The midfield 5, because I'm going 4-2-3-1, Rice and MLS, and then in front of them, Saka, Odegaard, Zolis, and then up top, Havertz. What do you guys have?
I'm really curious about the forward position because either something's up with Big Vic and potentially transferring out, but I don't see why he didn't come on in the last match. Havertz played the full game. And now you're playing Villa, who plays a dangerously high line, which gives you a lot of room to run into the back of, which screams to me Big Vic. If he doesn't get a start or minutes, I wonder if he's on the chopping block a little bit in a potential Alvarez swap deal. Just curious about that one.
Maybe
all about
we'll find out before this game starts. So
Yeah.
Anybody different for you there, Matt?
Nobody did. The only one that I might quibble with would be Hincapié, but taking Ricky out of that lineup, I think Ricky and Zolis worked really well together.
He's
I'd like
so
to
much
see
more
that
of a
happen
lightning
again.
bolt, too.
Yeah, I'd just like to see that happen again. See what it can turn into.
Your spicy take there on Konsa, he just slips right into the team at that point guard role. That's what you're kind of picturing there. How do you think Mascara played in both the Shield and the Coventry games? Do you think he played well enough to keep the starting spot?
I think I would not be surprised if he keeps the starting spot, Kevin. But I think that particularly because he knows the guys on the other side of the line.
Mhm.
Well, if some of them are going to
Does
have
he?
their name tags on, but
Right.
you know, he kind of has an idea of what to expect and so on. So I think that there's that little bit of added value where he's on the field. Pay attention to this, watch that, you know, little on-field sergeant.
Now that we've got him in the door, we've talked previously about putting White into central defense and playing him with Gabriel like they did back in the day, and then moving Konsa or Timber out right. Where do you think Konsa is going to get more minutes? Outside back or center back?
Matt,
Center back. He's going to be playing at least until December, maybe January. At that point, though, the calculus does change. I've never seen Konsa play right back, but at that time, we're going to have Timber. So I don't think he's going to get a whole lot of time at the outside right back slot.
Right now, we've got Timber in the medical tent, and we've got White, who's problematic with his injuries the last couple of years. You think we might get more minutes in him before the first international break at right back to try and ease White into the season, or you think you'd throw him right into the point guard role and pull Mascara out?
I don't know that point guard is the right framing for me. I wouldn't call him that, although he does that for the England team, and he could do it for us too. But with the way that we've got players who drop, Rice drops, MLS drops, Zubamendi drops, Odegaard comes all the way back. I think that's the point guard, whoever that person is, and I don't think Konza's. I mean, I guess I see what you're saying. I see your point, but I'm not worried about that. I think he's not going to play on the right. I think White is our best player in a season where we need offense. White is our best player at right back. And as long as Saka is the right wing or the right attacking midfielder, White, we've always said White is better for Saka than Timber is. Timber's just, it's not the same. They don't have the same relationship. So I don't see, as long as White is healthy, he's my starter. I think if we play games where we need more defensive play, or White just needs a break to manage his minutes, I honestly White is the starter for me, and Timber comes in for those moments. But I think probably bringing Konza in pushes Mascara to third as right back and third as right center back. And maybe he comes in and one of the other two, right-sided center backs takes a left-sided to make sure that, because we only have three over there on the left wing and the left side of the center back. I don't think we don't really have a direct anymore replacement for Gabby, right?
No, it's Hincapié.
I think it's right. It's either Ricky or Hincapié.
Right. It's either Ricky or Hincapié, and then one of them still has to play on the left side of the defense. So
yeah,
I think that's where we're going to see, maybe Mascara comes in, gets minutes, and if Gabby needs a break, Konza plays the left. But
it is fascinating to see that all of these players, all of the defenders, can play in the middle, and they can also play out wide. I suppose I wouldn't put Saliba out wide or Gabby out wide, but all of them can play in the center, and most of them can play out wide.
A lot of them play in the center for their country.
Yeah.
So yeah, Onana is out. Other players are out. Gomez is out. We don't know what's going to happen to Watkins. I don't know that that's going to be their start. I think they're danger guys. Tammy Abraham, he doesn't score a ton of goals, but he's not feckless. McGinn is always dangerous. This says Tielemans, but he's gone. I'm not afraid of them anymore. I was worried about them last season and the season before, and I'm at this point, I'm not really worried, and I have no idea who their lineup is going to be almost in any position.
I guess
put-
Cash.
They put Buendia, Cash. They put Buendia as striker. So, do we just want to go to predictions?
Yeah, I think we have to go there, don't we?
We do.
It is that time. Week 2 predictions.
So let's rotate it. I don't want to go first every single time. We'll rotate. I'll go first time. I'm going to go 3-0. Keep it. Oh, 0-3.
And, yeah, you gotta do it first, right way. So I'm gonna go one less, but I think that Arsenal will duplicate what Brighton did to Aston Villa, and Arsenal are gonna win 4-0. So it's 0-4 is how it goes in the books.
And I'll take the 0-2. 2 goals away, clean sheet, barely a shot on target for Raya. Then I guess we'll snake draft. I'm going to choose that lot down the street as our second game. They take on Newcastle, who's both teams doing a rebuild this year as well. I'm going to do a 1-1 tie in that game.
Huh. Okay. You're going next?
No, yeah, go ahead. You can go next. You went second last time. I'll go next. You go last, and then you go first.
I was really impressed with. Oh, you're going? Go for it.
I think it depends on Marmoush. I think Tottenham is still going to be a mess, and Newcastle scored 2 against Liverpool, who's a little more settled, and I'm going to go 2-1 Newcastle.
Yeah, I'm going to go 0-2. Newcastle gets the win. And Tottenham is shut out for the season.
You going to write that in?
Points and goals. Yes, I'll get it.
And then you go first for Coventry, Hull, or Leeds, Brentford.
All right, I'm going to go with Coventry Hull because I find this is going to be a really interesting game. Hull coming off of their big win and Coventry coming off of kind of a drubbing from Arsenal. I'm going to say this one winds up as 1-1. It's going to be a draw. Hey, Kevin, I guess you're up. Yep.
All right. I guess I will say 2-2 tie for Coventry Hull. And then
I got to go Coventry Hull 2-1 to Hull. Coventry gets their first goal, but Hull's going to get 2 again. And Leeds Brentford. I'm going to go 3-1. Brentford. 3-1 Brentford.
I think I'm going to go. Oh, did you want to go, Kevin?
I say 2-1 Brentford over Leeds away.
So I'm going 3-2 with Brentford. We're bullish on Brentford.
They played well. They played really well this week 1.
The formula died.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that match is against Tottenham, so don't you weight that a little bit?
Matt, you go first. What's your bold pick? And then what are you going to put as a double?
Well, for my double, I'm going to go with Arsenal beating Aston Villa 4-0. For the bold one, jeez. I'm going to say Saka gets a brace.
Nice. I'm going to go 3-1 Brentford Leeds as my as my bold. And I'll come back to my double. Let me think about that.
Wait, is that your double or is that your big, big one?
That's my bold.
Your bold. All right, my bold is that Konsa plays in Arsenal Aston Villa and does not lose a duel all game. I'm also making Aston Villa Arsenal my double.
So your bold is doesn't lose a duel.
Konsa does not lose a duel, and then I'm gonna double the points for Arsenal over Aston Villa.
Does Kansas start the game?
I guess it doesn't matter. I think he'll get.
It matters because if he comes in and plays 8 minutes or 30 minutes and doesn't lose a duel, and we have the ball for 30 minutes.
Oh, I thought you said starts.
That's what I thought.
Got
That's
it
why I was
coded that way,
confirming.
but that's two things.
Two things. I guess I'm.
So two things have to happen.
Yeah. So I'm doubling my points for Arsenal Aston Villa. That's one thing. And then I'll predict that Konsa does not lose a duel and starts. That'll be my bold pick.
Okay.
So I need to take that and make that because this is your double. I don't know how to record that. And then right in here what the other one you said or whatever. Write it in there. My double.
You doubled Leeds Brentford 3-1.
You're not doing that anymore. Okay.
No, that was my bold.
Oh, that's not a bold prediction.
All right, then that'll be my double, and I'll say God. Tottenham's goal is an own goal. So 2-1, and Newcastle scores 3 because they score on themselves.
That's funny. Good one.
Okay, and my double is 3-1. I'm getting confused by some of these, so okay.
Three quick things.
Yes. Did either of you have a quick thing before I get into mine? Because I had several, and I think they're all pretty cool.
I've got one. I don't know.
Go for it.
Matt, so mine is about Arsenal's victory on opening day. So they now hold the all-time Premier League record for the longest unbeaten runs home against a promoted team. So 46 consecutive matches without defeat, 41 wins, 5 draws. That beats a previous record, I think, that was held by Chelsea, had 43. So their last loss to a newly promoted team at home was in 2010 to Newcastle United. That's my quick thing.
Oh, wait. So we haven't lost a game against a newly promoted side, not just in the first game.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was confused.
So we'll have Ipswich still to go and Hull still to go. So we could boost that up to 48 if we don't lose to them at home this season.
Matt, anything?
I have one.
Go ahead.
With his goal in this match, Odegaard now has scored 2 on the season if we include all competitions. That's double what he did last year. And as I want to see us score 91 goals, that's helping me.
He scored in the cup in the 48th minute, and he scored in this game in the 49th minute.
Ooh, fun.
That's one of my 3 quick things. Also, let me find. So Arteta won his 150th game, and it made me want to dig into some numbers about winning the 150th game. So Arteta did it in 249 games managed. Pep Guardiola did it in 204. Mourinho in 231 for Chelsea. Klopp in 237. And Alex Ferguson rounds out the top 5 with Arteta being 5th at 247. So he's in esteemed company as one of the fastest, the 5th fastest to 150 wins. Now, how long did it take these guys to win their first championship? So Ferguson took 2,369 days from his first day hired until he got his first title. 2,342 days for Arteta. They were both winter hires, and he was 27 days faster to win his first championship. Now, there's 18, 17, I don't know, however many more he would have to win to be even in the same room as Fergie. But I think that's a great start, and I did not expect that. And then this was the first game since Opta has been tracking the types of statistics they had that a team went through a half of a Premier League match with 0 touches in the opposition box and 0 tackles. Coventry had 0 touches in the first half in our box, and they had 0 tackles, successful tackles. Their first tackle came at 69 minutes. That's crazy.
Be nothing. Yeah.
And then the last time we played Coventry was May 5th, 2001. They got relegated, I think, on the last day of the season. But they were, at the time that they were relegated, they were the second, fourth longest. Only 3 clubs had longer unbroken run on the top flight. Arsenal, and we're the longest ever still. Everton and Liverpool also still run in the run. But at the time Coventry was relegated, they were 4th behind Arsenal, Everton, and Liverpool. And that's crazy. And it took them all these years, 25 years, to get back. So they want to stay. They had stayed for a very long time before they went down and stayed away for a long time. So we all predicted them to go back down. They're going to work their butts off to try to stay. So those were 7 quick things, or 8, but I thought they were all pretty cool. All pretty cool, all tied to that game pretty much. So good times. Good start to the season. Pretty happy with a lot of what we saw, a lot of what we talked about. Do we want to go over real quick before we leave what our results from last week were? And I don't know what to do with those, Kevin.
Well, I guess last week we were predicting who was the scorer of our first goal. So you had Solis, I had Havertz, and I think, Matt, you had Big Gap.
Back. Yeah, Big
For
Gap.
first goal of the season.
First goal of the season.
Worth 9 points.
Yeah. And I somehow lucked into Havertz scoring the first goal like he did 2 years ago. So I got that 9 points there. And then our score prediction for the game, Eric, you had 3-0. I had 4-0. Matt, you had 5-0. So we all predicted the win for a point. But Eric, you got the bonus 3 points for scoring exactly. And then you doubled that. So you got 8. We both got 2. And then lastly, our bold predictions from last week. Eric predicted that Solis was going to score first. I predicted that there was going to be a signing before they played the game. And Matt predicted a Bruno assist. Bruno didn't play, so that was -2. Solis had the hockey assist, but it was Havertz who scored, so that was -2 there. And we did have a signing in Konsa who was presented to the stadium before the game. And so I got the +5 there.
So you are leading. It looks like 27. Matt has 7.5, and I have 14.5. So it's a steady 12.5 point lead over me, and Matt. We'll see it in December and see how it's going. But a lot of points. We got 4 games, lots of points. We got some doubles. We got some bonus bold picks, and we'll see how it goes. Last words?
Great start to the season.
Yep.
Clean sheet number 1 for Raya. 1 shot on goal. Pretty good for the defense. 3 in at the other end. Pretty great for the offense. And it's only going to get better from here.
Matt?
Yeah, I think as we led into this, you said you had 3 things that you were worried about with Arsenal. I'm still up there. I still have a few that I'm concerned about, but great start. Take this.
Yep. All right, guys. Good to see your faces.
Good to see you.